Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasuni Balachandra.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The Mahanayakas of the three Nikayas request to extend support to the President to bring the country forward in a new political path. Inoculation of the booster vaccine on those above the age of 20 years in the high-risk category. A challenge to Patali Champika. The Presidential Media Division responds to an accusation by Chandima Veerakodi. Babies of the sextuplets' birth have been discharged from hospital.
Moving on to the stories in detail. Anunayaka of the Askiriya chapter, the Venerable Vendaruwe Upalithera, says that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who has deviated from traditional politics and introduced a new political culture, is a leader with unblemished political character. The Venerable Anunayaka Thera reiterates that the cooperation of all citizens who love the country should be extended to the new political program of the President. The Venerable Vendaruwe Upalithera has made these remarks on the occasion of extending blessings to the President, the Prime Minister, the country and the people in front of the historic Ruwanvali Mahasaya in Anuradhapura last evening. The ceremony was conducted in connection with the completion of 2 years of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa assuming duties in the post of presidency. The Venerable Upalithera, delivering a special Anusasana, has further stated that the President and the Prime Minister are engaged in a momentous task of developing the country based on policy of compassion, love and determination. The President and the Prime Minister were engaged in religious observances at the Ruwanvali Mahasaya, offering herbal and Chatumadura pujas. They have also extended a special Chivara Kapruka puja at the Mahasaya. Thereafter, the Mahasangha chanted Setpirith and the blessings the government headed by the President and the Prime Minister and the country of the people. The Anunayaka of the Askiriya chapter, the Venerable Vendaruwe Upalithera, said that the President is not a politician of a traditional order. He added that the President, in his capacity as an official, had shouldered the burden of defeating terrorism by working hand in hand with the then President Mahinda Rajapaksa and the gallant security forces personnel of the three armed forces. The Venerable Thera also said that the President, who gives priority to state leadership rather than on individual leadership, he has clearly understood the livelihood of the common masses. The President's future vision is a creative foundation for the progress of the country. He is an extremely unassuming and humble person who always acts upon greater good of the nation. His political life is not contaminated by fraud and deception. The Venerable Thera has also stated that even intellectuals believed that he would become a dictator, but he is a leader who is always acting with kindness and compassion in his heart. The Venerable Thera has further pointed out that it is an exemplary and also extremely onerous task to bring the country forward and a production-oriented country moving away from the dependence on imports. The Venerable Thera has extended his blessings to the Prime Minister to continuously engage in his progressive leadership. He has also blessed the President's effort to bring about a healthy nation. Time has come to create an attitudinal change in the minds of the people. If not, we all would have to face an extremely bleak future, he says. The Venerable Thera also called upon collectively responsibility of the entire country, including ministers and members of parliament, to fulfill their obligations rather than entrusting their responsibilities on the President. He added that the intellectuals should be able to contribute in this regard through speeches, poetry, or in their fields of art. The Mahasangha, comprising of Mahanayaka Theras, Anunayaka Theras and of the three Nikayas, governors, MPs and ministers, commanders-in-chief of the three armed forces, the IGP, President Secretary, President Chief Advisor, other government officials and also the Devaran Nilame also attended the ceremony.
Pipe-borne drinking water facilities have been provided to 100 low-income families in the Anuradhapura district through personal financial contributions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. A symbolical presentation of pipe-borne water facilities to 5 families has taken place at the premises of the historic Mirisavati Raja Mahaviharaya last evening. The program has been organised in parallel to the birthday of the Prime Minister, which fell on the 18th of this month. Venerable Professor Induragare Vidamaratanathera has delivered a short Anushasana on this occasion.
Well, the Minister of Health says that the inoculation of the booster vaccine to those above the age of 20 years who are in the vulnerable health condition has commenced today. So far, 237,733 persons have been inoculated the booster vaccine. Well, the booster vaccine is being administered on persons with low immunity and suffering from kidney or bone marrow disorders. The health minister says that the booster vaccine should be delivered at least 1 month after the inoculation of the second dose of any vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine is normally delivered as a booster vaccine. Inoculation of the booster vaccine is taking place at the medical office of health officers in numerous areas. This dose is being inoculated on persons with immunological problems of the age of 20 years and above, and also for citizens above the age of 60. 29,798,987 doses of the vaccines have so far been inoculated on people in Sri Lanka under the COVID immunization program. The number of persons who have received the first dose is 15,900,295. There are 13,694,959 persons received both doses of the vaccine. The booster vaccine has also been delivered on 230,733. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 22 COVID-19 related deaths, which have occurred yesterday. 16 of the fatalities were of the age of 60 years or above. The remaining 5 victims were between the ages of 30 and 59. The health divisions informed the general public not to receive antibiotics as treatment for COVID-19 disease without obtaining medical recommendations.
Dr. Dulip Leonage has made a clarification on the new program relating to the administering of the booster vaccine to persons suffering from long-term health problems with effect from today.
According to the Director General of Health Services, from today onwards, we are planning to start booster dose for the immunocompromised patients. So you will be able to inoculate those who are having immunocompromised disease, those who are having long-term chronic kidney diseases or cancer, such as diseases with their diagnosis card. If you come to the relevant hospitals or to our MOH office, by producing your diagnosis card, you will be able to inoculate the third dose. Here I would like to emphasize, you will be eligible to get this vaccine after the second dose after 1 month. So without delay, please try to get this vaccine, because those who are immunocompromised are they have a risk to get the infection. So therefore I humbly request, from the first chance wherever you get, go to your nearest MOH or to the hospital, get the vaccination. Apart that, now third dose booster vaccination we have been started, but still we were able to vaccinate around 8%, 7.5% of population. So further, this will be available at all the MOHs, all by divisional hospitals and the major hospitals. Please be good enough to take this vaccine from the first instance. That is your social responsibility.
Well, meanwhile, Dr. Anwar Hamdani has clarified on this occasion on the importance of continuously following health guidelines in order to prevent the affliction of school children after the reopening of the schools on Monday.
As the schools are going to resume functions from Monday, so it is very important, it's very pivotal for every parent to educate their children at home, because this is going to be a new experience for children. After a long time they're experiencing their school lives back again, so it is very important for them to be educated at home. Why shouldn't they gather around? Why should they have their meals individually? Why should they have their own water bottles? Why should they wear the mask right throughout? So these health etiquettes has to be inculcated in your children's brain, because it's pretty important to save your children as well as the children of this country in order to save the education system and to have a smooth functioning of the education system. So the children in higher grades, it's your responsibility. You're grown-up adults, you know what is good and bad, so it is your responsibility. I know that it's after a very long time the children are entering school, so they'll be having a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to speak about. So So prevent from gatherings, prevent yourself from having meals together, prevent yourself from sharing the water bottles, etc. And it is very important to wear the mask at all times in order to save yourself as well as your colleagues. So this is a humble request for the parents as well as the school children as well as the school academic and the non-academic staff to take care of the system to run in a smooth fashion.
Today was the sixth day of the debate on the second reading of the budget. The vote is scheduled to be conducted on next Monday. Parliamentarian of the National People's Power, Andrukumara Dissanayake, has commenced today's debate. Parliamentarian Andrukumara Dissanayake said that the import-export deficit in the past 8 months was at 5.58 million rupees. He added that when comparing with the statistics with the next 4 months, the deficit would exceed 8 billion rupees. The parliamentarian further said that the country needs nearly 7 billion rupees annually to pay the loan installments. Therefore, the country has to earn 15 billion rupees. Andrukumara Dissanayake further said that the finance minister has stated that he is expecting an export income of $11.9 billion this year. Minister Udaya Gammanpilla has questioned whether the current crisis would not have been arisen had Sajith Premadas emerged victorious in the 2019 presidential election, defeating President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He also inquired whether COVID-19 pandemic would not have arisen if Sajith won the poll. There is an issue which any party has to confront. Minister Gammanpilla further said that the politicians should move away from the practice of increasing their votes by making use of the pandemic. What they should do is to join hands with the government and to find out ways as to how to overcome this crisis. It is the intention of any patriotic person at the moment to find ways of getting out of the problem. Today, the opposition in Sri Lanka are trying to join Corona and to defeat the government, but actually they must join the government and defeat Corona.
The Presidential Media Division says that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, since the day he assumed power, has been engaged in a massive task with the least amount of resources amidst challenges. The President's Media Division also points out that the total number of employees and vehicles deployed by the President's office for an extensive island-wide activity was only 1/3 of the vehicles the employees used by the previous government of good governance. Well, the Media Division reiterates that when the facts remained in this manner, Parliamentarian Chandima Veerakkodi has made a statement in Parliament yesterday without any study of accurate information of statistics. The PMD says that in his statement relating to the use of vehicles by the President's office were false and lacks substantial study on the issue. It also says that not a single official of the President's office uses motorcades, following the examples set by the President. Many officials do not use their official vehicles for official needs but use any other vehicle in the vehicle pool. The Presidential Media Division says that it is more regretting to find Chandima Veerakkodi presenting such false information without any proper study. Well, the companies importing fertilizer says that if it is possible to purchase a 500 milliliter bottle of nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer for 640 rupees, as stated by Patali Champika Ranavaka, well, they are prepared to purchase 1 million such bottles and also to provide an additional 100 million rupees. The company has challenged Ranavaka, saying that they are prepared to hand over the sum if he is able to prove that a fraud has taken place in purchasing the relevant fertilizer stock.
We buy from IFCO and we are giving to the government. So we pitch at $12.45. Then there was a big evaluation process, then it was a tender. So we buy from IFCO and we are giving to the government. So we pitch at $12.45. Then there was a big evaluation process, then it was a tender. So we bid out, we buy from IFCO and as of farmers, and we have reduced. Now it's 2030 we are selling in rupees. 2030 we are selling in rupees. So you can divide by how much is a dollar. Honorable Champika Ranavaka was telling dollar is over 230. So just.
So what cost now? We have already ordered, I think, 3.1 million liters, and we have already received only a batch of the consignment. So at what cost will the consignment be sold to Sri Lanka?
No, it was taken at now we have actually now there was a controversy, like we opened one account in Town Hall branch People's Bank and the money came in within 1 day. So there was a whole controversy. After that, what happened was this government requested us immediately bring down 2 shipments over 1 flight. What we did was we had one account.
What was the cost of the bottle at
No, our pitch was to 12.45. So our pitch, they agreed. So we can pitch even, we could have pitched $15 because the urea bag, this is equal to one urea bag. Urea bag comes to about $45. We could have easily pitched $30, but we didn't do that. We only pitched 12.45. So our competitor, second bidder, his cost was 5 times like near urea. We didn't do that as a responsible organization. We just pitched 12.45, thinking that we'll have to negotiate. Now, there was no competition and all that.
I'm sorry, I have to.
No, that's okay. You can.
Just to get a clear idea, now we have ordered 3.1 million liters. Out of it, how many liters have arrived in the country?
Almost 100,000 liters, like 200.
Almost 100,000. At what rate was it sold to Sri Lanka?
So the idea was to get it at 12.45. After covering the previous shipment, additionally we delivered 89,000 bottles. So still government has to pay me. The government owe me. And the media is go haywire and accusing United Farmers Trust. But
$12.45, if you convert it into rupees, that's around 2,500 rupees.
yes,
And now you say it is priced 2030.
yeah.
Has IFFCO sold any consignment to Sri Lanka under the new rate, under 2,030 rupees? Has it sold, or else has it been sold under the 2,500 rupee rate? That is my question.
IFFCO and our all, what happened was there was a negotiation after that, because this whole thing, we are in a responsible, society. So then I explained IFFCO, we have to come to a compromise, right? And we have to come to a, some rate. So then we discussed and reduced.
Sri Lanka's first sextuplet birth was reported at a private hospital in Colombo on the 21st of October. The parents have left the hospital today carrying the babies to their home. Madam Shiranthi Vikramasinghe Rajapaksa has presided over a special function organised in this connection. Mother of the infants is Dilini Vasana and the father is Prabhat Udayanga. The mother has given birth to 3 female and 3 male babies on the 21st of October. The sextuplet birth is considered as a significant event in the history of the Sri Lankan medical field. The delivery was performed by a group of medical staff headed by specialist physicians, including Professor Tiran Dias. The healthy babies were born in a cesarean surgery performed at 12:16 a.m., then 12:17 a.m. and 12:18 a.m. on this day. Madam Shiranthi Vikramasinghe Rajapaksa has presented souvenirs to the parents of the newborn. The specialist physicians and the health staff engaged in the child delivery were also present on this occasion.
And moving on with more local stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has presided over the screening of the documentary film titled Gandhara, which is produced based on the Buddhist heritage on Pakistan on the 16th of this month. And that news item is coming up in a moment. But before that, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has presided over the second commemoration ceremony of the late Minister D.M. Jayaratne today. Well, this event has taken place at the Ambuluava Biodiversity Complex in Gampala. Well, the President, upon venerating the Ambuluava Bodhi, has also inspected the biodiversity complex. He has later unveiled a statue of D.M. Jayaratne and placed floral tributes. The late Prime Minister Jayaratne has commenced his political life from the village council and was the 13th member of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. He has first entered Parliament in the year 1970. He functioned as a cabinet minister in 1994 and held several cabinet portfolios till the year 2010. He had functioned as the 14th Prime Minister of Sri Lanka from 2010 to 2015. He passed away on the 19th of November 2019. State Minister Anuradha Jayaratne presented a souvenir to the President symbolizing the second commemoration. The President has also planted a white sandal plant in the premises of the Ambuluava Biodiversity Complex. undergraduate of the Peradeniya University. Chalini Vasala Bandara has presented to the President a book titled Operation of Humanity, compiled by her, the Mahasangha of the Three Nikayas, Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and Mahindananda Alutgamage, Governor Lalit Gamage, parliamentarians Gunathilaka Rajapaksa and Udayana Kirindagoda, as well as members of the Amuluava Trust Fund, have also graced this occasion.
And in more stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has presided over the screening of the documentary film titled Gandhara, which was produced based on the Buddhist heritage in Pakistan on the 16th of this month. The movie has been an outcome of bilateral discussion between the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, during the latter's Sri Lankan tour. The film is a co-production of the Pakistan High Commissioner's Office in Sri Lanka and the Siddhavinayak Cine Arts Private Company. The Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs has coordinated in the production process. The documentary has focused preliminary attention on the Gandhara Buddhist civilization that had existed in the land now called Pakistan from the 1st AD to 7th AD. The Takshila, agreed as the world's first Buddhist university, was also located in Pakistan. It is also believed that the initial statue of Lord Buddha had been turned out in a location now belonging to Pakistan. The Gandhara documentary is reported to have made a valiant effort to depict the great Buddhist heritage prevailed in Pakistan and to the Sri Lankan Buddhist community, as well as to the global Buddhist population. Venerable Dr. Agrahera Kasapathera has functioned as the senior advisor in the charge of this entire project. The Venerable Thero was engaged in a 12-day tour in Pakistan during the shooting of this film. Others who have contributed in the production of the movie included Kaushali Vikramasinghe and director Matan Sahere, who was the production controller, and Sajjad Muhammad, who had extended assistance from England. Vidya Jyoti Professor Nimal Silva has produced the script and also acted as a co-director. Falcon Club Private Company of Pakistan has also extended assistance for the bringing out of the movie. Speaker Mahinda Abapevardhana and several MPs and ministers were also present on this occasion of unveiling of the Gandhara documentary movie. Minister Dallas Alhaperumas says that an extensive discussion will be commenced with artists in the near future in order to look into the task of producing professional artists. The minister has made these observations at a ceremony to distribute educational equipment to children of all artists in the Joint Arts Alliance. The event has taken place in Colombo this morning. The Artists Alliance has been established on the 20th of August last year through amalgamation of several arts organizations. The objective of the formation of the alliance has been to consolidate the political, economic and social freedom for the setting up of a high-quality Sri Lankan arts tradition. President of the Joint Arts Alliance, Visharada Samandisanaika, and many other artists were also present on this occasion of the distribution of educational equipment. Minister Dallas Alhaperumas said that the President, after a discussion with the Cabinet about 3 weeks ago, has decided to conduct the Presidential Media Awards presentation ceremony in Sri Lanka. The Minister further said that the government is the country's first media institution. Its aim is to turn out as a professional media person. The Minister added that we have a cricket history through our liaison with global cricket. However, we were unable to produce professional cricketers. The Minister has recalled with gratitude the services rendered by late Gamini Dissanayaka to produce world-class cricket professionals. The international pride in cricket is being provided at present by the professional cricketers. The Minister added that another field that we have failed to turn out professionals is the media sector. He also said that for the past 3 years, they were unable to organize Sadasavi or any other award ceremonies. However, many creations were unveiled in the recent past, and the Minister further said that they have decided to conduct the Sadasavi award ceremony combining the achievements recorded in the years 2019, 2020 and 2021.
We are now moving on to more local news items in brief. Well, the commencement of the work on the development as a dual track of the single railway track from Kandy to Sarasabuyana commenced today. Minister of Transport Pavitra Vanyarachi presided over the event. The total cost of the project is 589 million rupees. Official inauguration of the city bus service also took place in parallel to the railway line development project. Minister Namal Rajapaksa says that the Agrarian Insurance Board will take measures to provide relief to the farmers in Kalpitiya, whose crops are destroyed in the recent flood. The minister gave this assurance when he visited the area to look into the problems of the farmers. Restoration of the Puthalam-Chilau railway track damaged due to the recent inclement weather condition commenced. The work has been carried out under the supervision of the maintenance unit of the railway buildings. The railway track maintenance division says that nearly 100 locations in the railway track have been damaged due to the lashing of water currents. A fire that had erupted in a private food catering institute in the racecourse premises in Cinnamon Gardens at dawn today has caused substantial property damage. The Fire Service Division of the Colombo Municipal Council has extinguished the fire with the assistance of the Cinnamon Gardens Police Station. Two suspects with a hidden stock of commercial explosives exceeding 998 kilos were nabbed by the Sri Lankan Navy in a special search operation conducted in the Shantipuram coast today. Welcome back, and we are now moving on to the world of sport. Well, Sri Lanka was deprived of victory in the final moments of the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa quadrangular football tournament final encounter yesterday. Seychelles team secured victory in a closely contested tussle at the racecourse grounds in Colombo. Well, a large number of spectators were also present to witness the game, the final. The match started at 7:30 p.m. Sri Lanka entered the field with the absence of three prominent players, Dylan De Silva, Kavidu Ishan and Daxan Puslan. Mervyn Hamilton has been successful in securing the first goal for Sri Lanka team in the 4th minute of the game. Prior to the lapse of the first half, the rival Seychelles recorded a goal. Accordingly, at the end of the first half, the score was tied. In the 57th minute of the game, Mohamed Aqib scored the second goal for Sri Lankan team, and the 75th minute, Wasim Razik scored Sri Lanka's third goal. Well, this was the 7th goal Wasim had recorded for the team. In the 83rd and 89th minutes, Seychelles team secured 2 goals. At the time of the close of play, both teams secured equal number of goals. Accordingly, victory or defeat had to be decided upon penalties. Seychelles team was successful in scoring 3 penalties received at the trophy of the tournament with the defeat of the Sri Lanka team, and has been deprived of the opportunity to secure the championship in an international football tournament after 21 years. However, sports commentators say that the ability of the Sri Lankan team headed by Sujan Pereira to enter the finals of an international football team after 15 years is a sign of optimism of success. Wasim Razik won the Golden Boot Award to the player who has secured the highest number of goals in the tournament. Captain of the Sri Lanka team, Sujan Pereira, secured the Golden Ball Award presented to the most valuable player of the tournament.
And in more sports news, the first test match of the current series between Sri Lanka and the West Indies is scheduled to commence at the Galle International Cricket Stadium tomorrow. Sri Lanka is competing in a test match after 7 months. The Sri Lankan team were engaged in a warm-up session today. Sri Lanka Cricket has announced of a 22-player squad yesterday. So far, Sri Lanka and the West Indies have competed in 22 tests. The Sri Lankan team had won 9 and lost 4. 9 matches had ended in a draw. Captain of the Sri Lanka team, Dimuth Karunaratne, said that the Sri Lankan reserve, comprising of 6 batsmen and 5 bowlers, will play in the match starting tomorrow.
The last series I've got plenty of runs, but it's not guaranteed that I can make more runs on here. But after 6 months playing in the international game, and yes, I want to get some runs on here. We'll see how it goes, and I was been work harding for the last few months for this test series. Hopefully I can make a big one. Hopefully make a 300. We'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, Charit won't get a chance to play in the first 11. We were thinking to play 6 batters and 5 bowlers. We were packing the 3 spinners with the 2 fast bowlers. So unfortunately, Charit won't get a chance to play the first 11.
And that's a wrap for tonight's news. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time.
Good night.
Good night.